Welcome to Blake Street Banter, where one of us knows what the word banter means and the other two are just along for the ride. My name is Isaac. I'm joined by Lewis. Say what's up.
What up, guys? Should be a fun one.
Oh, yeah. And we're here with Spokane Indians left handed pitcher Konner Eaton. How are you doing, big dog?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Mondays, we all have our days off in minor league baseball. I'm saying that as if I'm there as well. But what have you been up to today?
Nothing much. We hopped on a bus at 10 a.m. this morning. Took a trip. We're in Seattle right now. Just got back. Just got here about probably 30 minutes ago. Hit some traffic. Drive time to about 7 hours instead of five. So not
Oh,
ideal, but
gosh.
back here.
Dude,
6 game series here. So we'll see how it goes.
something that Aaron likes to ask a lot is what's a go-to road trip snack or drink that you have to choose if you're going on a 7-hour road trip to Seattle?
Um, I got pistachios are big. I'm a big pistachio guy. I love
Easy.
pistachios. It's something easy. Also Cheez-Its probably.
Yeah. Do you have a go-to drink, or is it on pistachios and Cheez-Its?
Not
Um,
bad.
I'll probably say a Coke. Probably a Coke.
Yeah, that's solid. So, Connor, I want to go into high school. I saw that you were teammates with current Spokane Indians Tevin Tucker. Can you like walk us through what that is like being teammates again with a high school guy? And like, were you two the big dogs on the team? Like, you were the go-to pitcher, he was the go-to bat in the lineup. What was that like?
Uh, no, not exactly. Tevin's got a couple years on me, so Tevin and my sister actually know each other very well. They grew up together. They played rec basketball together. They played all kinds of sports back in the day together, which is pretty crazy. So when I was in the stands, I was watching Tevin and my sister play basketball on the court. But then over time throughout high school, I think I was a freshman in high school when he was a senior, and I
Okay.
was up on down. I was up and down on varsity that year. I was on mainly JV, and I got called up to have a couple outings on the varsity team. That was the year that we won state, 2018. So me and Tevin, just because of the age difference, we never really got to that point to where like I was the main guy, the pitcher on the team. He was the main hitter on the team. So we never really got to that point, but it's pretty cool to be able to be from the same hometown, and we all knew each other growing up, of course. And to be out in Spokane across the entire country is just pretty crazy, and still being able to ball out together is pretty awesome.
Right. That is awesome. I wonder like how many times that's happened before where high school teammates have teamed up on same professional
I would
team.
probably say it's probably below 2%.
Right.
I would say we're in the 1% column for sure.
So there we go. Connor, Ian, Tevin, Tucker, 1% of baseball players, right? Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I want to segue your high school into your recruiting process. You went to George Mason, pitched there for 3 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
Like, what was that like? Did you have any other offers? Was it a long process? Were you set on George Mason? What's up?
So George Mason was the only offer I had coming out of high school. I was kind of a late bloomer. I was a really small guy growing up. Didn't, once I was on the little league field, I was probably one of the best guys out in the field. But once that big field hit me, it was like the game sped up on me tremendously, and it took me a lot of time to be able to, go through puberty, kind of grow, build into my, my body. Um, Definitely took some time, and then of course junior year is kind of when I hit that spark. I was probably like 85, 87 off the mound, so good enough to get some looks from colleges, of course. um, but that's when it happened, so that rolled around and completely just kind of took away my recruiting process altogether. But I was lucky enough to go to a PBR camp, and Sean Camp saw me. It was like, of course, during that COVID time period, they would just post videos, and coaches. That's how they did their recruiting during that time. So Sean saw me. He saw like a 45-second clip of me. Um, Called me like I think that day or later that night, and talked over the phone. Took a couple weeks, and then he ended up offering me, and I really just kind of stuck with that. Um, Committed there pretty much by I think like 2 weeks later. and then rolled into my that was my junior year. And then rolled into my senior year, tore my UCL the first game of my senior year of high school. Played through the entire season. It was actually on my fourth pitch, my first outing. I think it was in the fourth inning. Had like 10 Ks or something. I was going crazy that game.
Right.
And got taken out. Ended up playing first base and hitting for the rest of the season. Didn't really like think anything too much of it. My arm definitely didn't feel good. But I was playing first base, so I was pretty limited to throws and stuff like that. But I ended up getting Tommy John surgery July 20th of 2021. It took 18 months to completely come back. Just decided to completely just knock out my freshman year, just completely take that year off and really slow the recovery process down to where, when I come back, I'm 100%. I'm ready to go. Not trying to rush back into the process when I really don't need to, especially being a freshman at a Division I school. So I was lucky enough for camp to keep me during that time period. I worked my butt off, and I was able to come back my sophomore year of high school, sophomore year of college, excuse me, and become a Sunday guy. I think I threw like 45 innings my sophomore year of college, and ended up throwing like 65 my junior year, somewhere in there. But that's just kind of how my recruiting process went in the college days.
Yeah. And going from pitching one game your senior year of high school and then your sophomore year of college, you're a starting pitcher for George
I
Mason.
do.
Was
I
that?
gotta cut you off right there. I actually threw
Oh,
2 games. I ended up throwing 2 more games, my senior year of high school, because I took like 5 weeks off. I should probably added that in there. I did end up pitching 2 more games, but my arm definitely did not feel good during the time though.
no. Yeah, I get that. I'm not a pitcher that you were, but I just ended my senior season 2 months ago. I messed up my arm, and it was
Oh,
senior night. I was able to toss 4 innings after only being able to throw like 2 games the entire season. So I don't know.
oh,
I get it. You just want to like be out there, right?
yeah, definitely.
Okay. Um, but yeah, where I was going at is starting, yeah, that 2 year transition from pitching in
hmm
3 games to college. Was that a tough adjustment, or like did all your preparation through the Tommy John um process get you ready for that? Or
I think it was a little bit of both. I think the time period off didn't necessarily get me to be a better baseball player. I would say in ways, yes, but I think it kind of just I really grew as a person. I think I built a lot of character. Obviously, just cheering your teammates on, and you're not being able to play. You're just rehabbing every single day, and then you're just going out there to cheer on your teammates. Just be a good teammate as best as you can, and really matured a lot during that time period. I think it was probably one of the best things that ever happened to me. I came into obviously sophomore year college. I got a fresh arm. Definitely took some time to find the strike zone after such a long break. Um, so obviously my sophomore year of college, it definitely took some time to kind of command the ball, and I really just had a four seam during the time period. I really didn't have any off speeds. It really took me a long time to really develop anything. I was really just out there trying to throw it as hard as I could, to be honest with you, my sophomore year of college.
and yeah, I mean, I feel like it worked in your favor. You're throwing baseballs pretty hard now, so
Yeah.
there's that. I so as you were like preparing for the MLB draft, you were in the Cape Cod League for the Orleans Firebirds in 2023. I looked at the
hmm
roster, and there are two other players in the Rockies organization that were on that team. Could you name those two guys, do you think?
The same year
They
as me, or the
It was the same year, but they both only played in one game, so it might be
all right.
tricky.
Well, Aiden Longwell, I know he
Yeah,
was on the team. Um, Another one that was on the team in 23.
he was in the Spokane rotation this year.
Oh, Ben
Big
Shields.
no,
No,
no.
Ben was on the year before.
Oh, was he?
Yeah,
It's a big
Ben.
lefty, big lefty.
Oh, Catlett. He came. Everett Catlett.
Yeah. Which I
Yeah.
thought that was neat having for you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
pretty crazy because I ended up getting a back injury that year, and he got called up from I'm not sure where he was playing at, but I left, so I never really got to see Everett in Orleans.
Oh,
But I
okay.
do remember that. Yeah.
That's interesting. And then like yeah, Ben Shields again. Like you were teammates with him at
Yep.
George Mason, and then just got
Yep.
traded to the Rockies. And the was that the Jake Bird or Ryan McMahon trade? I'm blanking.
I think it was the Jake Bird.
Yeah. But like when you saw that, were you excited to be in the same organization
Oh
as
yeah,
him
it's
again?
pretty crazy. Me and Ben are pretty close. So, and he, uh, you know, Ben was pretty awesome during my time at George Mason because obviously he was a little bit of an older guy, and he's somebody that I really kind of looked up to during the college days, and he's a tremendous pitcher. He's an awesome guy. Through the Tommy John process, we were actually going through it together. Uh,
Yeah.
During that time. He got Tommy John, and he was on the later stages of it, but I was in the early days of it. And he was just kind of talking me through it. And whenever I got on the mound, he made sure to go up there and watch me. And so it's pretty awesome to really connect with the organization.
Yeah, no, that's special. You have a lot of these really weird connections from
Yeah,
one team to
yeah,
the
you could say
Rockies.
that.
That's funny. In the outline we have for this, where like we get all the information questions for you, I was gonna say something about what does George Mason feed you left-handed pitchers, but I decided to scrap that because I thought that'd be a really weird question to ask.
Uh
But here I am. Did the two of you get something weird to eat from George Mason?
huh. I'm really not sure. I think it's just honestly, I think it's just George Mason. I think George Mason's a little underrated. I think some good players have
Yeah.
come through George Mason, and it's kind of slipped on. So I'm trying to stand my ground with George Mason and kind of make it the best name most popular name out there.
Yeah. Speaking of popular names, this is a
Hmm.
fun thing I dug up. The name Connor, Connor, is the 167th most common boy name in America. And then I had to look up what Connor, Konner was. Do you think you can like ballpark where that was?
And OR was what?
Uh, 167.
Most common name?
Yeah, for
I
boys in
can't.
America.
It has to be in like hundred thousands or something.
Oh no, no, you are overshooting yourself. It is the
Oh,
2,425th most
okay.
common name. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Okay, so got drafted by the Rockies in 2024. You were able to pitch some games this year. Then the
Hmm.
offseason prior, your first entire year as a professional. What like adjustments did you make this season? Or like going into this season?
Um, I think it was a great experience to go out there last year and be able to at least get 13 innings in, and really get my feet wet in pro ball and just kind of knowing what I'm coming into at the start of this year. Obviously, two different roles. I was a reliever last year during my time in pro ball, and then this year being a starter. And I really just kind of, combined the stuff that innings I got in professional baseball and just kind of put those together and just kind of started there. And then obviously, throughout, I don't know how many games, like 120 or so, uh, you're pitching every fifth day and you really just kind of take it day by day and you kind of fall in love with your routine and you just keep learning from your outings every single time. Obviously the last two I had weren't the best, but you just kind of take the good with the bad and, flush it, move on. And I feel like I've done a really, really good job of that. And is that's just be able to keep good or bad outings, just put them behind you. You got 5 more days to get ready for the next one, no matter what. You're still gonna have that next start.
Yeah, and that's a mentality that I love. Yeah, just like being able to flush that because a lot of guys can just get so hung up on like numbers, like this or that, and just to go out there every 5 days and shove is really good. I think you're second in the Northwest League in innings pitched, so that's just a testament to your work and what you've done this year.
Hmm.
Yeah, I wanna. Oh, I am blanking. hold on. I had a really good segue for this. What the heck? Your brother, Nathan, he spent time in professional baseball. Um, I didn't include this. I didn't do research. I think it was Lewis that
Hmm.
did that. So can you talk to us about Nathan, what it was like having somebody who's been there be like a mentor,
Hmm.
whatever it's like for you?
Yeah. So Nate is actually my cousin. He's my first cousin. He's my dad's brother's
Cousin.
son. And to be honest, right now he's playing in the Boston. He's playing at Fenway right now, and I was watching this game right before I hopped on this call. So being able to watch him is something really special. And he's honestly, you know, I really don't know where I would be at without Nate. Awesome dude, and he's been a really good big brother to me. And um, the amount of things that he's taught me is more of just on the inside of not necessarily it's just kind of what your expectations should be coming in the pro ball and what are some things you kind of look out for, some pros and cons and stuff like that. And I do like to really learn myself, going throughout the stages, but also be able to kind of bounce back on him if I ever have any questions and stuff like that. He's always really quick to respond. So it's been really special to kind of, get to watch some, obviously make it to the show. And it really gives me the confidence to, be, it's really competitive at times because obviously, I can't wait to face him in the show and strike him out 3 times.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, that's awesome. Like this again with you and these connections that you have. It just
Yeah.
you have like your foot in every aspect of
Yeah.
pro baseball, it looks like.
Hmm.
I have one more serious question, and after that, Lewis might have one for you, maybe two, and then we might get you out of here. But we will. But I want to know about your walk us through your arsenal. I love looking at guys. I'm really big into numbers. I love all the small intangibles that comes with a
Hmm.
single pitch. Like, walk us through what you have.
So obviously, I only have 3 pitches right now, and that's something definitely I want to kind of talk over with some of the coordinators this offseason is kind of add in a fourth, maybe a fifth over the time period. Definitely start with the fourth, um and that's something I really kind of mentioned to them last year, but this year I really wanted to focus on really mastering the 3 that I have. I have a 4-seam, slider, and changeup. Pretty traditional, nothing too crazy. 4-seam runs, I don't know. 4-seam runs around like 14 and I would say like 16 and -15. I'm not sure if you're into that kind of stuff or anything like that, divert and horizontal break and stuff like that.
Right, right.
Um, but over the time period of this offseason, I do want to kind of get a little bit more carry on my fastball. It gets a little dead zone at times. Just want to be able to, kind of work one way or the other, more on the horizontal side or the vertical side. And
Right.
I think if I were to work more on the vertical side, I think it would make my slider seem a lot better than play a lot better. And it already plays very well right now. I think my slider is very special just because I get negative vert on it. I get a lot of swings and misses on it.
Yeah.
It's my favorite pitch. And it's something that I really feel comfortable throwing in any count. And changeup, that's probably the biggest pitch I've been trying to work on, and a lot better this year. And I've been able to kind of throw behind in counts 2-1, 3-1, 3-2 counts, and some left on left 3-2 counts with 2 runners on base and big situations and pressure situations. So as long as I'm be able to throw those pitches tight situations, I feel like I'm going to be able to throw it whenever I want. So I think that was something to really gain confidence in, and I'm really confident in my arsenal. I think if I just kind of tweak some things this offseason, I think I can, make an even bigger jump.
Yeah, right. I agree. I was looking at your college numbers compared to your professional numbers, and your walk percentage is down by I think it was like 4 or 5%, which is huge,
Hmm.
and it's something
Hmm.
that we were all keeping an eye on. So, like you said, like the fact that you were really able to hone in on those 3 pitches is only gonna set you up for more success. So,
Yeah,
do
no
you have
doubt.
anything, Lewis?
Yeah. So not really a serious question here, but you've been an East Coast guy your whole life, and I love to ask guys these questions. But when you go to the West Coast, what's the fishing like, or what's the wildlife like? Is it any different? No. How different?
Um, Honestly, it's like Spokane isn't that much different than Virginia. Obviously, besides like there's a lot. I feel it seems like all there is pine trees in Washington. That's all it seems. Actually not that different, especially on the weather side. I feel like the weather's pretty similar, other than the fact that we haven't had one rain out this year, um, and it hasn't rained hardly at all. Versus Virginia, I feel like it rains a lot, but the fishing's pretty similar. I do. I've been. I take it back. I've probably been a couple of times in Virginia, up in the mountains. I'm just not near the mountains, but there is trout fishing in Virginia, and it's pretty similar. There's a lot of deer out in Spokane, Virginia, so I think it's pretty similar. I think it just kind of depends on if you're, Fresno is definitely a lot different than we're the East Coast for sure, but I feel similar to, the East Coast.
I think that's all.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna ask one really quick question. Sorry for holding you just a little bit longer, but
No,
Aaron likes to ask. Aaron likes to ask guys, to be completely selfish, what's your all-time favorite baseball memory? So like it could be a little league home run you hit, or a moment with your cousin in the that's in the MLB now, teammates, whatever it is, all-time favorite.
I would definitely say Atlantic 10 championship winning with George Mason back in 23. I think that was that it's ever happened to me, especially being able to be with such an awesome group and be the underdogs and go out. We in the championship we had to beat them twice, so to win it all, and then make it to a regional against playing Wake. Was playing LSU in the championship a month later. Was Maryland and Northeastern. We made an awesome ride that year, and it was pretty special. And I don't think it's something I'm ever going to forget. And it's been an awesome memory, and I think it always will be.
Yeah, that's special, man. I like to hear that. Well, thank you for joining us today. We'll make sure to cover you even more over at Blake Street Banter now.
Oh, sweet. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have
See you later, man.
Yep, you too. See ya.
All right.
That was great, Isaac. I'm gonna give you a round of applause. That was amazing.
My back is so sweaty.
You're carrying the pod, that's why.
Yeah, I probably copied almost 50% of Aaron's dialogue, but if it works, it works, right?
We didn't talk about a good guy to copy from, is Aaron.
Right.
Probably the best. So
now we're gonna dive into the minor league portion. We're gonna recap like Lewis and I usually do. Do you want to take the lead on this? I've been talking for the last 20 minutes.
Why not? I have a lot of words to spare. So
perfect.
Fun week. We have a couple guys to spotlight. We have new draftees that got a whole week of playing time, so we'll go through that. But let's start with some transactions. There's not many. We got a lot of guys coming back from injuries, guys being sent down. That's about it. But Senzatella and Orlando Arcia are back. Senzatella, of course, had a really rough couple months there, then had, I think, a blister or something, put him out for 2 weeks. But now he's back. I think he had a decent start the other night. And then Orlando Arcia, it's been kind of struggling all year, but he gets his back under his feet. What are your thoughts on these moves, Isaac? Definitely still moves that you definitely don't want to see if you want to play the young guys, but in terms of just veteran guys, you'd like to have these guys back.
Yeah, and I mean, like with Antonio Senzatella, he is somebody that we do want to be out there. Like, even though he's not performing good at all, he has the experience of Coors Field, and he won us a game a couple of days ago, and he's a part of this kind of like electricity we're going to see from our young guys. And like with Orlando Arcia, yeah, he's active now. Yeah, he's going to get his at-bats, but the day he was activated, and I think the day after too, he didn't start. I don't know what the lineup's looking like for tonight's game against the Dodgers, but I don't know if he's going to be starting there either. Yeah, right. But I don't think it's going to change anything. We're playing good baseball right now. Warren Schaefer isn't going to stop it to play 30-year-old Orlando Arcia.
He's not in the lineup again. Yeah, especially when you have so much depth in terms of the youth talent in the middle infield. And Cal Queiroz, who's in the corner. I feel like the positions Arcia could play, you're liking the young guys that you like a Ritter, you like a Bernabel's going off, so you can't put him at first as like the secondary DH thing. It's just, I feel like the young guys have played Warren Schaefer's hand, which is something that we should all be happy about, because that's not usually when you see young guys, it's like, you're going to play them despite the numbers. But for us right now, it's like we're playing these young guys, and they're better than the veterans. So, yeah, I love the culture that we're kind of having, which is these young guys. We saw Juan Mejia get his first save in electric fashion the other day. That was amazing. I don't even know what to say about that. It was the greatest play ever. So, and that one included Warming Brunnerbill, and then in the background was Ryan Ritter. So I thought I want to take a screenshot and be like the Rockies youth movement summed up in a photo. But in reality, like we're playing 500 baseball since the All-Star break, and a lot of that is to do with these young guys.
Yeah, and it really is great to see. And even with like Juan Mejia, who before the season, I don't think many Rockies fans knew who he was. And he's been our second most efficient reliever on the team.
I've always been a Juan Mejia guy, so
it's awesome to see.
Me too.
That's why we're doing that Blake Street Banter.
Isaac's been the bandwagon. He's been I guess he's been the leader in the clubhouse for Juan Mejia at BSB.
That's right. And then, like you mentioned it earlier, Ryan Ritter was activated. He had a 2-hit performance, I think, the first day he was back up. So he's playing good. He's fun to watch. He's a part of this youth movement, as you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, I know I think he got an extra base hit today, too.
Oh, gosh.
I know he drove in 2 today. So that's one of those guys that defensively, he's going to be there. And then it's just, can you be league average with the bat or not a liability? And Reiner, he singled and scored 2 with bases loaded. So he got to Yamamoto. So shout out Reiner there at that. And then another guy, Blaylock. I'm going to bring him up because that's your man. That's Blaylock's your guy. Gets sent down, makes room for Senzatella to come back. Give me the sell for why Blaylock will be back and better than ever.
Well, there's not an official stat on Fangraphs or Baseball Reference, whatever you use for your baseball numbers, but every single time I've talked about Bradley Blaylock, this next start he does amazing. He puts up zeros on the board. He strikes out a lot of guys. So this is what I'm going to try and manifest now, is that Bradley Blaylock has a big league arsenal. He has a mid-90s fastball that gets a ton of induced vertical break, which is good. You want it to carry, as Konner Eaton was just telling us with his fastball. And then Blaylock pairs it with a curveball, devastating curveball. It's a major league 1-2 punch, and it's as typical as it gets, but it works and it's efficient. And when it's on, it gets great results. But Blaylock is coming off 1 or 2 tough starts in a row. So going back to AAA, working what he wants to work on without any big league pressure, I think it's great for him. I will always be in favor of that, because we want him to be the best him while he's with the Rockies. And when he's not, it is only going to hurt the team. It's going to hurt people's perspectives on him, all that. So this is a good opportunity for him. And I will be a Blaylock supporter for the rest of my life until I die.
There you go. Let's hope that ages well. No, I think Blaylock's in a great position to be like that guy that the last, month and a half goes on a tear, and then we're talking in spring about, we're dreaming about the Blaylock that we saw at the end of the year. And we see that ever so often with these guys that end the year on a high, and Blaylock could be that guy. He's not had a so far in AAA and MLB level, but like you said, the talent's there. He's got the arsenal. I look at the PC or the isotopes right now. I look at that rotation, and he's probably the first one I'm calling up to trust in a ball game. Kyle Branovich, which is a guy that we kind of thought would be a decent starting pitcher, he hasn't gotten off to a great start in Albuquerque in his 2 starts so far. So I still think Blaylock's that number 1 guy that if you need someone for a spot start, Blaylock's got to be your guy.
Yeah. And you don't even have to worry about any 40-man business, because he is on the 40-man roster already. He's been there, done that. I agree. It's in a season like this for the Rockies, having Blaylock around isn't going to hurt anybody. You want to go to the isotopes now, Lewis?
Let's go. Konner Eaton. I'm going to go through some of the pitching stuff. Konner Eaton, 4 innings pitched, 4 hits, only 1 earned run. So that's the big Iowa guy. Big CVS there. And then Luis Peralta had 3.1 innings of scoreless ball. Gets the call up, the lefty, to the Rockies. We need some bullpen depth and some fresh arms. So that's good to see. Carson Skipper with 2 innings pitch of no run ball. He just got the call up a couple weeks ago. So always good to see. And then who else I want to pick out? The last pitching performance. I'm going to go Antoine Kelly, your guy. 4 innings pitch, only 5 hits, but only one run allowed through those 4 innings. So you like Antoine Kelly. You think the stuff is off the charts. I agree. Hopefully we can see him in purple. Maybe at the end of the year we sneak him in, but we'll see. Now on to the bat. Sterling Thompson, he's made a couple changes to his swing and especially his approach, and we've seen this reap the benefits. He went 7 for 13 this week, 2 doubles and a triple. He's been one of the hottest players since the All-Star break, or even the past 3 months. He started the year, and it was a lot of weak contact, not extra base hits, and he wasn't the Sterling Thompson that we drafted out of Florida, especially right now, especially in the PCL, where you expect those numbers to be inflated. But he's at an all-time high in terms of stock. I don't know where we put him in our prospect rankings, but I don't think it was high enough. So that's a guy. I don't think he's going to be on the Rockies this year. I don't think he's going to be called up this year. But spring training, that could be a really interesting conversation with him, Karros, or do you want him in the outfield, corner outfield, or I don't know where they're going to play him defensively when you have a guy like Karros that great with the glove. But yeah, Sterling Thompson, guy to watch out for. Another guy that I think has been raking, Michael Toglia. He's been doing this whole redemption thing. We see this every year, right? Where it's the Michael Toglia AAA, struggles in the MLB. He goes to Albuquerque, makes it look like a joke. And at this point, how much stock are you putting into these performances after a couple of these stints happening and then nothing changing?
Toglia breaks my heart. I love seeing these performances. 2 home runs, 2 home runs, 1 triple, 1 double. It's awesome to see. Last season, he got called up. He hit 20 home runs in like 80 games, just like absurd numbers. And like he has it in him. Like has unreal pop. He has a really good feel for a barrel when he's on. And it's hard to know like when he's on, when he's struggling so much in the Rockies, in the MLB. But what we're seeing right now for Michael Toglia is him while he's on. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think he's striking out as high of a rate as he was prior in the season, and the numbers are backing it up. Like he is looking like a Major League Baseball player right now, and it just like irks me so much because where was this a couple months ago?
Yeah.
But you have to be happy for the guy. He's had a rough season, so this big of a positive can do a guy wonders for a season revival.
Do you think, would you leave him there for the rest of the year, or would you maybe run him out in the Rockies again?
Totally dependent on Warming Bernabel. Warming Bernabel is still playing good baseball. If Warming Bernabel hits a longer streak of...
If we could just get the hot streaks of both those guys and then just do the good for both and then send them down when the bad happens. And that's like an all-star player in the aggregate right there.
Yeah, platoon them between AAA and the MLB. That sign me up.
Drew Romo is the last guy I want to shout out here. 6 for 18 with a home run, OPS over 900 this week. We haven't said this name a lot, Drew Romo, because he just really hasn't performed. It's been the last couple of years coming, but if there's a guy that could be a sneaky prospect to be, I still think he's like a good backup catcher in the future. And defensively, he's still got some things to work on, but he's still young, drafted out of high school. We all forget, but just a name I want to throw out there, just because when he does good, I want to make sure everybody knows about it.
Yeah.
Down to the yard goats. Ben Shields, 5 innings pitch of no run ball. That's the guy that we got in the Jake Bird trade. That's gonna be that's gonna be an all-time question. What trade was that guy in again? Was in the McMahon and the Bird trade. So 8 strikeouts in those innings. We have Victor Juarez, 4.1 innings pitch of no run ball. Don't know if Team Mexico has released their team yet, but we need him on that WBC team come next March. That would be electric.
So fun.
McCade Brown, 3.1 innings pitch of no run ball. And then let's go to the bats here. Cole Carey continues to do it. Only 3 strikeouts this week, which is something you'd love to see with Cole Carey. We know where the struggle is going to be with him. It's going to be strikeout. Didn't walk, though. But he did go 8 for 22 with 3 doubles and 2 home runs. Had a fun play in the outfield when I was there in Hartford, so got to see him up close and personal. Charlie Condon with a home run, may have saw it. I think it was on Sunday, but only went 2 for 16 this week. We're starting to kind of see the struggle of Charlie Condon continue. He had a pretty good stretch the last 2 weeks, but this week really slowed it down. Did hit a home run though, so that's always fun. I think it was a pretty long one too, so good bomb there. And then Benny Montgomery, the opposite of a shout out. I want to he's not doing well. He's as just right now his stock is at an all-time low, and that's crazy because it's at an all-time low beginning of the year. But he's a guy that has talent. We know the swing is going to be weird, and he's got to work on that. But why I want to point out Benny Montgomery is I kind of want to call my shot. I think Benny Montgomery is going to be like an Isaac Collins, almost Isaac Stevens, an Isaac Collins of the Rockies. Maybe not to that extent of like rookie of the year, but I do think if he gets out of the Rockies org, I do think a team will fix him and he will be an MLB ball player. Are you on that same track with me?
Yeah, it makes me wonder because Benny Montgomery had an obvious hitch in his swing coming out of high school, and it hasn't really been addressed yet. That could be the Rockies. It could be an external factor, but if a team sees him, if there comes like a Rule 5 draft or whatever it may be, they can see this guy has the feel for baseball that every single guy on our MLB team does. We'll take a shot at him, and we're going to try our best to mold him into a player we want him to be. And if that can happen to anybody, I think it can be Benny Montgomery. He was drafted solely because of his feel for baseball. And you just don't see guys, you don't see that happen to guys. So, yeah, I'll agree with you, Lewis. I'll buy high on him.
There you go. And let's go down to Spokane. Pitching wise, Griffin Herring had 4 innings pitch of 1 earned run ball. Another guy we got in one of those 2 trades. So great to see him doing well. A lot of those guys we're getting a quick return on investment when it comes to the eye test. They're looking great so far. Granted, we need a bigger sample size, but I'm loving the returns so far. I know you're a big Rock Riggio guy, so
yeah,
that one should be fun. And on the bat side, Max Bellew made his pro debut, went 5 for 17 with 2 home runs. Big week for him. He got his first ever professional hit and then first professional home run and then got another one. So good week for him. Blake Wright, the Clemson guy, 10 for 25 with 2 doubles. Aiden Longwell, don't know why he's still at this level. He needs to be called up to the yard goats. Contact machine, 8 for 23, 2 doubles, a home run. Austin Hedges makes his professional debut, 1 for 15, a little baptism through fire there. Hopefully next week he can hit the ground running, and law of averages will average that out. So a bad week, that's how that works. The Grizzlies, they raked all week. Only hitting here. Derek Bernard, 9 for 18, 2 doubles and a home run. Brody Brio, a top 25 BSB prospect, 9 for 25, 3 doubles. Kevin Hidalgo, I know you're big on him, 8 for 19 with 3 doubles. Royner Hernandez, 7 for 16, had a couple extra base hits in there. Ethan Holiday makes his professional debut. That's probably the one that everybody saw. Everybody retweeted on Twitter and got the most likes, most interactions. 6 for 16, hit 2 doubles. I think he had a 3-hit night in his first game. And then Tanner Thatch makes another guy making a debut, 5 for 14 with a double. He snuck into Pipeline's top 30 at number 30 for the Rockies, so it's fun to see him get the feet under him and get his career started as a Rocky. And then Jackson Cox just still in Fresno, which is crazy. Looks like it's probably going to be the whole year. 9.2 innings pitched, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, 9 Ks. I think Jackson Cox could be a yard goat next season starting games.
Yeah, I don't think that's absurd to say. There's an idea where you have a pitcher keeps seeing good results. You just let him hit the ground run until he runs into a wall. And I don't think I just made that up. I don't think that's a saying. And if it is, sorry for anyone who uses it. But yeah, Jackson Cox totally can. It's his first fall season, and he was drafted in 2022, if I'm not mistaken. So you're just happy to see this guy back out here getting strikeouts, looking like a second-round draft pick that he originally was. So it's good because he's a guy that a lot of people just forgot about because he hasn't pitched in many games for the last 3 years. So it's exciting stuff, Lewis. It's a good time to be a Rockies minor league fan.
Yeah, I also want to shout out. Never mind. I was going to shout out Brody Brecht, 4 innings pitch, no run ball.
Yeah, no, Brody Brecht. I Oh, I said it last week. I don't want to butcher myself, but he is in like the top of Rockies minor leaguers in strikeout percentage as
Yeah,
a
it's disgusting. Yeah.
he just strikes guys out. Iowa product. Him and Connor Van Scoy lead the pack for Iowa Dogs in the Rockies organization.
What is
Big
it? What
stuff.
is it? Brody Breck, Connor Van Isaac Stevens. It's like a big three right there.
I'd put myself first, and then the other two follow.
Humble man.
Intangible, yeah.
Yeah. You have the, it goes beyond the stats.
Yeah. If we look at Baseball Savant and there was like a heart meter, how much somebody has heart for the game, I would probably be in the 100th percentile. I'd have a little fire next to my name. Yeah.
You can't teach that.
Can't teach heart. That's right,
No.
Lewis.
I think that's gonna do it for us. Do you have anything else to add?
No, I think this is the shortest show we've ever had.
Yeah, we just kind of. There wasn't many. I will say the Rockies didn't do many transactions this week, so
No,
I blame it on
that's
them.
where we spent a lot of our time. This was our most efficient week. I'm not gonna say shortest. I'm gonna say efficient. We got things done efficiently.
Yeah, it's like a
You guys
2-hour
are
baseball game.
Yeah.
Pitchers
Do you wanna
got stuff going.
Do you want to plug Blake Street Banter really quick?
Yeah, if you don't know about Blake Street Banter, that'd be crazy. But follow us on the Twitter, follow us on the YouTube, follow us on the Instagram. Blue Sky, we might be there. I think Aaron has Reddit going too, so follow us on Reddit.
Look out for the Rockies' top 50 prospects. It will be coming out.
Plus
very
honorable
short.
mentions.
Plus honorable mentions provided by yours truly. All the words are authenticized by Isaac Stevens. So if you want the best words, check out the honorable mentions. Yeah. Okay.
All right. There you go. Go Rocks in minor league affiliates. Woo!